What's poppin', people? We're like 40 kilometers in. Still very much inside Ontario. Not even around the bend of Lake Ontario. A real threat today. It turns out it's gonna be the weather. Surprise. Because apparently around like 3-4, once it starts getting dark, it's also supposed to like rain, snow, / like freezing rain or something. So I don't know, that should be interesting. Keep you updated.
And today is the day we waited for.
I don't like making this video because it's honestly just like a reflection of my own misconsiderations, I guess. I decided that, hey, you know, it would be a great time to try and bike to Miami from Toronto because I'm crazy like that, I guess. I don't know. No, there's actually a 4,000 kilometer race in Europe in July that I really want to do. It's called the Transcontinental. It's approximately 4,000 kilometers through like most of Europe. And it's like 7 to 10 days. It's pure insanity because like there's so much climbing and it sounds great, you know? Because earlier in like 2025, I did the Gravel Birds 330 and that was sick. I had a really good time. Yeah, just like crushing it with Joe Santos, shout out Joe. And once I got a taste of that, there's really nothing to compare, you know, because it's just such a unique experience that I was like, I'm actually hooked on this. Like, I could really get into it. And I remember like even like starting off the race, I was like, damn, I could do this for a living. Middle of the race, I was like, damn, I want to do this for a living. Like by the end of it, I was like, yo, the organizers, but at the same time, I want to do this like all the fucking time. But I digress. So I figured this like 2,700 kilometers to Miami would be a perfect training round for me to get used to that type of distance and everything. And I was thinking like, you know what? Let's add some fucking stakes. I'm gonna do 500 kilometers a day because like I think on the route there's 3 major climbs, and after that, after North Carolina, it's pretty much flat. So I was like, yo, I could fucking knock that out easy. I just have to get through Pennsylvania and like down to North Carolina and I'm fucking good, you know? Here are a couple things that I learned from not biking 2,700 kilometers down to Miami and instead biking 100 kilometers through a Canadian snowstorm / freezing rainstorm or whatever the fuck it was. I do not like the weather here. Oh, why don't you move? I'm working on it, all right? Motherfucker. First thing that I now know, navigation-wise, instead of depending on my phone, because I did depend on my phone for I kind of depend on my phone for the Gravel Birds 330, but my my partner in the race, Joe, he had a bike computer, and that was just, you know, worth its weight in gold because like we just referred to that the entire time. And I thought, or I had the route on my phone and everything, so I like double checked just to make sure we're going the right way. And I was like, but I didn't realize how like imperative it was to have a bike computer on these routes, especially when it's just like the elements are against you, you know?
All right, we're like 90 kilometers or something. Freezing rain has frozen my whole cockpit, so that's pretty chill.
Yeah, because I remember looking up at one point when it was like freezing rain and like a little snowy and like my whole cockpit was just fucking frozen ice. And I realized that like I should have taken a right like probably 10 kilometers back. And I was like, I can't turn around, you know? So I was like, fuck it, we ball. Yeah, I just like kept pushing. Luckily, there was a route that connected me to where I need to go. But just like navigating that, like through all of that was just, it was the start of the end, you know? Yeah, I think if I had a bike computer in the future, I would just avoid that. And I could just look down and be like, oh, yep, still on the right route. All right. Or, oh, I need to make a right instead of, I don't know, in 10 kilometers, you fucking asshole. But yeah, now I know that. And it's painfully, I mean, now in retrospect, it's painfully obvious because like I was not expecting to brave the elements to that degree. Honestly, I thought if it just snowed, I could fuck up some snow. I could definitely make it through the snow, you know, just the snow. But the freezing rain, so I mean, I guess another thing here is expect unexpected, you know, but definitely bike computer for next time. I'm also taking recommendations for bike computers. I was looking at the Garmin Edge series, a 1080 solar, I think. Looked pretty hot, but it's also like $1,000. So Garmin, hey, if you wanna, you know, sponsor me for Transcontinental 4K, you know, I'll be in your emails probably. If not, you know, there are other brands. It's fine. It'd be cool if it were you though. I love you, Garmin. Chat to me, baby. Moving on. I guess just going off the expect unexpected point, having rain gear in that situation, I realized was like my biggest falling or shortcoming because like it was, I mean, I was actually expecting snow, but like going off expect unexpected, like having that rain gear just to like keep me dry at least, like I could have kept going if it wasn't for the freezing rain. If it was just the snow, I swear to God. But this fucking no-brainer, just bring like a waterproof shell of some sort, and like even for my hands and feet, like I don't know, maybe like a bag or something just to like secure and then like sock over or something, or just like having that thought out beforehand would have saved me. Hands frozen. Legs frozen, upper body frozen. I was soaked to the fucking bone, and I was sitting there in St. Catharines GO Station for like 4 hours because I pulled up. I think I called Justin or something because he was just like, "What are you doing? Are you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, people are right. I probably shouldn't do this in a snowstorm." And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah," you know. But then in that conversation, I missed my train, which I didn't realize because it was Sunday and like the holidays. It came every like 4 hours pretty much. I was in the train station for a while. The entire time I was there, I was just like sitting there, soaked to the fucking bone. And miserable, you know? So rain gear, like fucking rain, bro. Fuck, it's December. Snow, you piece of shit. Fuck the weather here. Yeah, but yeah, no, honestly, just having the appropriate gear and expecting the unexpected, I guess is the bigger takeaway. But rain gear for sure. And that brings me to my last point. Don't fight nature, you know? And in my mind, I was like, damn, I could definitely outrun a storm. Bruh. You know, like I saw on the radar, like it was supposed to snow in the evening or something, or like afternoon. I was like, I'm gonna be in fucking Pennsylvania by then. Don't even worry about it. But I didn't, I don't know, plan a little better, I guess, is also a lesson. Better planning is a lesson. All in all, gear, especially in the winter, is so fucking imperative. It is your lifeline. It is like, I think I need to experience that in my mind. I was comparing it to the Gravelbirds 330 of like, oh, like, what was it, fucking like June or something in Portugal? It was scorching hot. I mean, it was like, it got low in the night and everything, but it was not that bad, you know? It was like springtime or some shit in Portugal. It's fucking beautiful over there. Oh my God. Yeah, I was comparing this entire journey to that. I was like, oh, like once I get past, you know, like the snowy parts, it's gonna like get better, and I'll just be like, oh, like it'll be warm and I'll be happy. Yay, sunshine. Sunshine for more than 10 minutes a day? What? You know? But in reality, it was not like that, and I am in a Canadian winter. So don't fight the elements, definitely. Yeah, lesson learned. Good job, Pazik, for being delusional, I guess. But you know what? I love that about you. You know, keep on being delusional, because sometimes it actually pays off. When your reality becomes your delusion, like, who's delusional then? You know? Probably still me, but I digress. So to wrap up, next time, oh, and there will be a next time. Don't even get it fucking twisted, because I think, honestly, if there wasn't a snowstorm, or like if there wasn't extreme weather conditions, I could definitely make it, like even in the fall, you know. But I think I'm gonna make a summer attempt, because I said I would do this, and now if I don't do it before I die, I'm gonna have that regret, you know. And I don't have time for that. And plus, it's probably gonna be a lot of fun too. Like I don't know. I like, in my mind, I think the most crushing part of this defeat was that in my mind I was like, yo, like I'm doing this unless I die. You know, like the only thing that's gonna get me to stop is if if someone kills me. You know. And then Mother Nature was like,
I can fix that.
So coming back home with like all my soaked gear, like this whole narrative like destroyed in my mind. I was like, yo, this is gonna be such a good content thing, and like it'll be so much fucking fun. I'll meet like a bunch of new people, I bet, and like this whole like life experience thing. And then just to come back at like 11 p.m. the same night, just being like freezing, shivering, just like miserable in general, disappointed in myself, kind of sad, kind of mad, definitely frustrated, freezing. It was a lot, you know, and that's why I kind of took a break off, you know, Instagram and social media and everything, just because I was like, man, like I need to process this emotionally, and then I need to eventually tell the story so future me has like a reference point, being like, hey, remember that time you tried that really dumb fucking thing? Or not even, actually, no. Remember that time you tried that like relatively more insane thing than you usually try? Like, yeah, just remember that. Here are the notes, you know, for future me and anyone, you know, who wants to do some crazy shit like this as well, I guess. Just don't do it in the snowstorm. You know, I feel like that's like the biggest pitfall right there. Don't try and fight Mother Nature, because she will win. But yeah, bike computer, rain gear, and don't fight Mother Nature. Big takeaways. And actually I have a gear list. I think I was in the train station taking notes for next time. I was like, yo, okay, next time I'm gonna have like bear spray, proper camping gear. What else do I got over here? Water filter. I'm thinking of Brooks saddle as well, just because like comfort, and I've heard they're really great. Bar mitts, even though I hate Crubbies because I see them on all the fucking e-bikers and everything, I'm like, yeah, they do their job though. They're really good. That's why everyone fucking uses them. Zeke, fucking guy. But yeah, headlamp, shorter stem, a whole bunch of fucking notes. Overarching thing, go all in. You know, there's no half-assing this. There's no like, oh, I guess I'll just, you know, bike to Miami. You know, not in the extreme elements. I feel like if it were the summer and I decided to like pick up and go somewhere, I definitely could have like made it really, really, really far, you know, like probably could have made it to Miami. But in extreme elements, go all in and plan accordingly, because like, yeah, there's no way around it. And maybe I would have just had a better chance, you know? So I guess that's part of the takeaway on everything. I don't know. Oh, I do know. Yeah, that was, I still plan to be doing the 4,000 kilometer race in July through Europe. Really stoked about it actually, because I did get my application in and they're being reviewed. I should know if I get accepted by the end of January, so stay tuned for that. Right now I actually, like, in my mind I'm like, yo, I'm going, you know, like the delusion carries forward, but yeah, I'm just like, yo, I'm going. I'm looking for sponsors to help me like get there and like gear me up and everything. So, you know, if you know a guy, let me know. Garmin. Chat to me, baby. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna be plotting, training, and I guess watching more ultra racing videos, because like, yo, there's like a whole community that like I just like, it makes sense that there is, but I just like didn't tap in till now, and I was like, damn, like there are amazing women and men just like doing the most extreme races, and I'm like, you're so cool. But yeah, I'll get there eventually. But for now, I mean, thanks for, you know, tuning in and listening to me, I don't know, tell my little story of woe and next time, man. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for, you know, tuning in and everything. Please consider liking and subscribing. It means the world to me. I also made this video over here or somewhere on the screen. You should probably, I mean, consider checking it out, because I mean, actually no pressure, you don't have to. You know what, Go drink some water. You need to go drink some water. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.